YouTube family, it is time to dive headfirst into spring at Sephora. I have a lineup of some new releases, some coming soon. Maybe they will be available by the time this video airs, but these are all some really hot picks and you need to get them on your radar. In addition to those, there are actually a couple that I decided to start off with the travel, and we're gonna talk about that, okay? So hits and misses as always, but let's go ahead and dive into today's video. So we jump into the fragrances. I do want to remind you, please sign up to become a beauty insider. This is going to be an easy, no-brainer way to reward yourself every time you shop Sephora, either in store or online. Stack the points, redeem those points later to get cash off of your purchases, samples, deluxe samples, and even some full-size products. So all the information on how to do that I will have linked in the description box below. And keep in mind, depending on your tier, you're able to access those savings events at an earlier time than everyone else. I'm ROUGE. I've been ROUGE for many years now, and I'm loving that I get first dibs on a lot of this stuff with, you know, they have these savings events because certain things just tend to sell completely out because you get to save so much. So again, take advantage and start reaping the rewards of becoming a beauty insider today. Also in the description box, I will have linked information on how you can take advantage of their same-day delivery and expedited shipping options. So again, be sure that you check that out. And with that said, let's go ahead and jump into the first fragrance. I do want to touch on a couple of beauty products, just a couple, okay? We got a couple skin and the lip product for today. So this is actually a YSL lip product, Yves Saint Laurent, and this is my first. And this is their Rouge Volupte Candy Glaze, okay? And this is in the shade 15. So as you can see on my skin, because when I first saw this, I was like, I don't know. But once you actually start to wear it, it appears just a touch darker than what I thought it would. And this actually is a really gorgeous, like pinky nude color for me. So if you have been looking for, you know, a lip product that you can just throw on, similar to the Fenty Gloss Bomb Sticks, where it's kind of giving lipstick and gloss in one, easy to apply product, then I would highly recommend checking this out because I have been enjoying it quite a bit as of late. So the second thing I want to touch on is a whole new line of products that I have been getting to know intimately over the past couple months, and it's CYKLAR, and they are now available at Sephora. So a while back, the brand actually, you know, gave me the opportunity to try quite a few products. I'm going to say I love everything that I have tried from a CYKLAR. I even have a couple on the way to me, but these are just Sharida in a bottle. They're going to be tried and true staples in my body care routine, which I love a good vanilla and I love a good sandalwood. And so that is what we have here today. Both of these products I love to apply wet, fresh out of the shower. So the body oil is in the scent Vanilla Verve, and this actually is a vitamin C body oil, something that I love to, you know, add into my routine because it's going to help even out the skin, brighten it. And just keep in mind, when you're wearing products with, you know, any kind of active, make sure that you are wearing your sunscreen like you should to protect your skin when it's exposed. But this is one that, like, it's a no-brainer. You love vanilla, and one that I would say wears like on their cleaner, woodier side vanilla. This is not going to be like cupcake, drenched in sugar, gourmand type of vanilla. It's sweet, but it's not gourmand cupcakey. And you have something that is really going to be nourishing to the skin because it's a multi-oil blend. You've got the vitamin C and it has the squalane. So be sure to check this one out. Again, this is the Vanilla Verve Vitamin C Body Oil. Another one that this is almost an empty, y'all. I have gotten these, I think, into my collection around December, maybe early January, but this is the Sacred Santal in Shower Body Balm. So this, you have an option. If you're not someone who wants the oils all over them, you can apply it in shower and then you can just go ahead and rinse the top layer off, okay? Me personally, I'm gonna need the oils to stick around, but I understand that as it starts to heat up and the humidity kicks in the high gear, something this thick is probably not always going to be, you know, the best thing to slather yourself in. So, I mean, it's gonna have like the texture of maybe like, you know, petroleum jelly, you know, Vaseline. But it smells, guys, smells so good. I love a good sandalwood scent for layering. So this is going to add a beautiful creamy woody base to anything that you're wearing. So again, it's going to be chock full of amazing products for the body. I think this one features, it has coconut, seed butter, glycerin, ceramide, and a multi-lipid complex. So these are giving luxury, but they're not breaking the bank. And these are just ones I highly recommend you check out. They have quite a range of different scents and things to address particular issues for your skin. So again, those are from the house of CYKLAR. Now, so honey, listen, ELLIS Brooklyn is always going to hit us over the head with a solid spring summer release. If I had to categorize it, I would say this is definitely more like tropical summer vibes, but that's okay because honey, it's already 80 degrees in Georgia. So it's like, girl, we will jump right over spring entirely. Yes, the blooms are blooming, but the weather is giving June. And this is Isla Serena. So this was so kindly gifted to me by the brand. I was not expecting it. ELLIS Brooklyn, honey, this stuff just shows up on your doorstep. And oh my God, honey, you need this in your life because as I wear this, what it really starts to remind me of is a very, very, very expensive fragrance from Creed, Virgin Island Water. But you have to imagine something like that made just a little bit more feminine, okay? And you're not gonna have that, like that boozy, I think it's like a white rum, and it's going to last longer than Virgin Island Water on the skin, even though I would say this is on that moderate, like lower end of moderate range as far as the longevity. I do keep in mind this is a new scent. It has vanilla, it has woody notes. So I'm going to give this time to develop, you know, over the next few weeks, and we'll see if it's at least giving like Miami Nectar type of longevity. I feel like Miami Nectar lasts just a touch longer. All that aside, this is an absolutely beautiful tropical scent. It's sweet, but it's also balanced with a lot of freshness. So you're getting the best of both worlds. You've got this sea salt lime that is featured in the top, and you really pick up on that in the scent, and it is just absolutely stunning. You have coconut water, you have a little bit of banana and papaya mentioned in the top as well. And I feel like all of that just kind of melds together to give you something that smells like a tropical coconut water, you know, lime type of an experience. And I really appreciate the way that they have carried out the lime in here. It's not too sharp, it's not too bright, too citrusy. Again, a really gorgeous amalgamation of of tropical notes, and I'm loving it. So the top notes for Isla Serena are banana, papaya, lime, and sea salt. You have middle notes of ginger flower, coconut water, vanilla orchid, and you have base notes of teakwood, vanilla, and brown sugar. I think that the fact they're mentioning the ginger flower, don't think just straight up like ginger root, because that can scare a lot of people. It really does wear very mild, okay? Like think ginger flower, don't think actual ginger root, because that can make a big difference. I just think this is a must smell if you love those tropical coconut scents. So again, this is Isla Serena, and this is from the house of ELLIS Brooklyn. Now let's touch on two of the travels I picked up at the beginning of the month. I would say we're already in the middle of the month, child. Where has March gone? I don't know. But let's start off with Donna Born in Roma Purple Melancholia, and this is when I said I mean, you know, I'm not a huge fan of this line. Let me just put that on out there. So for me to blind buy a full bottle of it just would not make sense. I do, however, really enjoy the way this opens. I feel like this is a very likable scent. It's different for the Donna Born in Roma range. I just wish that what I got in the opening, which is like really beautiful plum, delicious, sweet, not overly sweet, just a beautiful scent. But as it starts to wear, I feel like the sweetness dies down just a bit, and I don't really get much plum in the dry down, and it starts to wear in that dry down like it's just like a slightly sweet woody scent, and that's really all she wrote. So I'm wearing it on my skin today. I mean, you do get the DNA of Donna Born in Roma really deep down in there in the backdrop. So I feel like if you're not a fan of the original one, you love plum, this one absolutely still may be worth you checking out, because I feel like the original one was just so sweet. It was doing a lot. I didn't really enjoy it the couple times, you know, that I tried to sample it in passing, but I like this one. I just don't feel compelled to add a full bottle of it. I will absolutely probably finish up this travel, but yeah, she's cute. Like, I can see a lot of people liking this one, but for me, it just lost its magic as it began to develop on my skin. So they don't give us much in the note breakdown, honey, but clearly there's a lot more going on in this fragrance that the notes would suggest. All they're listing is vanilla, osmanthus, and plum. Again, on my skin, I get something that wears like soft, spicy, woody. You do get vanilla, and I mean, you get a lot of plum, but the notes are not really like what else is going on in here, because it's almost like this woody, mossy texture, but they're not mentioning that. So check this one out if you love plum, because they kind of, you know, deliver on that, especially in the opening. But again, it was a dry down that just kind of left me, you know, wanting to smell the opening again, quite frankly. So again, this one is Donna Born in Roma, the purple Melancholia. Now let's talk about one that I have a travel, because I still don't know if I want a full bottle of this, but I was just, honey, excited to see that Born to Stand Out is now available through Sephora. Like, who are we? Like, Sephora has been just stepping up their game as far as their offerings. I know they have Montal now. I was looking online and I think they had like MFK in the UK offered through Sephora now. So yeah, honey, they are paving the way for these niche brands to get in on the, you know, the Sephora clientele. And CUVEE Skin is one that I actually sampled in a tiny like 2 ml, and I really liked what I got on my skin. It was unique. It almost smelled like champagne and musk. Now they don't list a champagne note in this fragrance, but that is exactly the vibe that this smell is going to give. It's so bubbly, fizzy, effervescent, uplifting, bright, but then you have this really gorgeous skin musk, and it's almost like it's fresh, but there is a like a warmth to it. It's just a hard to describe scent. You really just need to try this one out, and it has really good performance. I think this line in general is supposed to be like skin scent, intimate. This is wearing a little bolder than that, at least to me on my skin. Like, this is giving something just a little bit more prominent than skin scent or skin intimate. I don't know the concentration. I don't know if this is an EDT. Girl, I don't have my glasses. I cannot read that small, but don't let this clear bottle image, them saying all intimate, scare you. It's giving more than skin scent, okay? Not being small, but it's giving more than intimate. So CUVEE Skin opens with notes of amberette and oak moss. You have middle notes of vanilla orchid and tonka bean, and you have base notes of white woods and white leather. So the leather is where you're going to get this really like warm, musky skin accord. It does not wear like normal leather. So don't let the fact that they are mentioning leather scare you. You're not going to get anything leathery. You're going to get a very warm, like skin but better type of scent from that. And the oak moss is what is giving you this fizzy champagne thing. It's addictive in a way, and it is because of the amberette. So the amberette is also musk. I think that coupled with this white leather is what's giving it this warm skin-like vibe. But again, it's not anything animalic or super leathery. You need to think warm skin and champagne, honey. Somebody is getting some champagne poured on that skin in the high heat of, like, I don't know where we at doing something like that, but I would imagine that we're in close quarters alone and some things are going down, all right? So that's the vibe this gives. It's very sexy in like a sensual way. I'm not gonna say overtly sexy, but in a sensual way, bubbly, effervescent. So check this one out if that like piques your curiosity, your interest, because it is very, very unique. And we will see how the travel, you know, goes. Do I feel compelled to add a full bottle? If so, I shall. Again, this is CUVEE Skin from Born to Stand Out. The range now available at Sephora. Now let's talk about a new release that I have been loving. Actually, these next two, the last two on this list, love at first sniff. So Peach Aura from Brown Girl Jane. I just needed to see the notes. I just needed to see this little bottle and this brand, and it was automatic blind buy. I didn't waste my time with a travel, honey. Peach Aura did not disappoint. The imagery that they're, you know, putting out there for this fragrance, it is exactly that. It wears, to me, on my skin, it smells like a delicious peach ice cream covered in like a caramel drizzle. caramel. And this is peach perfection to me. This is warm, it's sweet without being cloying. It's a very well done peach. And peach is that note that can be a little difficult to pull off. It depends on what you're layering it with, or pairing it with notes wise. And I just think that they really knocked it out of the park with this one. It slightly does remind me a little bit of peach arm. I gotta say, the way that the peach comes off, it is reminiscent, and I just love like this lactonic, almost creamy facet that it has. And it's the caramel, the butterscotch. It mentioned butterscotch, but the smell smells more like caramel. It doesn't give me a true butterscotch scent, because butterscotch is it's a very distinct smell, taste compared to caramel. But to me, this comes off very caramel, peach-like. So this one opens with notes of peach, blood orange, and Bellini. You have middle notes of butterscotch, almond blossom, and magnolia. And you have base notes of cashmere musk, sandalwood, and bourbon vanilla. Like Brown Girl Jane does every single time, they're going to give you a solid, delicious, gourmand fragrance that has just a unique touch that is also highly wearable, easy to understand. Okay, another banger. Get your nose on if you love peach. Yeah, they did not miss with this one. Again, this is Peach Aura from Brown Girl Jane. Now, last but not least, honey, this is my favorite PHLUR. I'm just not even gonna hold you. Honey Moon. This is so much better than what I expected. When I read the notes, I instantly thought, is this going to remind me in any way of Libre La Parfum? They have a lot of notes in common. I think like honey, saffron, orange blossom. I would guess vanilla is in there. We're going to take a look at the notes in a minute. But so where I feel like Libre La Parfum, it's more of the orange blossom, and then you have the honey, the vanilla of it all. This is more honey forward, whereas I feel like the orange blossom is much more playing second fiddle. And if anything in my collection this reminded me of is actually going to be Girl of Now from ELLIS, which is, oh my God, like I love the way ELLIS fragrance smell. But let me tell you the distinct difference, which in my opinion is going to make this much better suited for this time of year, is the texture and the wearing experience of this. This has to be one of the most beautiful honey fragrances that I have smelled, okay? So I was not necessarily expecting to get this over, in PR from the brand, but I was so happy to get this, to smell it, and to just be so enamored with the way that it's already got a little dent, honey. We haven't had this fragrance for 3 days, and I have been spraying it non-stop, day and night. It has been a honeymoon on my skin, my robe, my clothes. At some point of the day, we have got to wear this. It smells phenomenal. So I feel like if you like Girl of Now, this is a no-brainer. The biggest thing is, like I mentioned, the texture. And this is going to wear with a lot more of like this airy, transparent, I would say translucent. It's not going to be transparent like we giving, super fresh, see-through. We can see through you. No, she's translucent. It's a little step down from that, but we can still kind of see, what's going on beyond the glass, honey. Whereas I feel like ELLIS, she's opaque. She's very thick. She's very sweet. She's very almost cloying depending on your fragrance taste, but I love her down. This is going to be a honey that you can spring for 365 days a year, but there is something about this. It's almost like she's honey ethereal. That is the vibe that I get from this, and it wears with a very I don't have any honey in my collections like this, and I just did a honey video a couple months ago, and I would have loved to kind of compare this honey to all the others, because it wears with a very unique texture. It doesn't get thick, but the honey is the star. Like, how are we doing this? How are we pulling this off? There is something so airy and floating and light about the way it wears. And I'm not saying light as in, girl, I sprayed this on and I cannot smell it on me, an hour or two from now. I'm not saying light in that way. I'm just saying, how did y'all pull this scent off with this texture? That is what has got me gagged. And if you love honey, listen, listen to me. If you love honey, you need to pick this up. Try travel first if that makes you more comfortable, but I absolutely love this fragrance. So Honeymoon opens with notes of lavender and mandarin. You have middle notes of manuka honey, saffron and orange blossom, and you have base notes of vanilla, tonka bean, and sandalwood. So many notes in common with Libre La Parfum, but they do not smell alike. The lavender in this fragrance is so soft. You almost had to tell me that there was lavender in here, whereas no one has to alert you that there is like lavender and orange blossom in Libre La Parfum. They wear and smell very differently. So, okay, at ease if you thought they were gonna smell alike, because I was definitely wondering like, wow, these have so many notes in common. They have to smell alike. They don't, okay? So again, check this one out if you love honey and you're looking for the perfect honey scent. The bees are already out where I live, and I was seriously afraid to wear this on my walk because baby, there's no way they would not be chasing me. That's how gorgeous and springtime honey this is. So check this one out again from the House of Fleur, a hot new release. I'm loving, obsessing over, again, Honeymoon. All right, you guys, so that is it for me. I want to thank Sephora for partnering with me on this video. I love working with the brand. You all know that. Every single month, they, you know, giving us so many new options to pick from, whether it be skin, makeup, and fragrance. And I'm here to give you all the tea because it's not gonna be a month where I don't add something to cart, you know, at Sephora. And again, just being a beauty insider, it's a way to you kind of reward yourself for all this dang on shopping you're doing. But again, check the description box below. I will have all of the information on the Beauty Insider program and, you know, the buy and pick up options, the expedited, you know, same day delivery. All of that will be linked, as well as the products. All right. So again, a huge thank you to Sephora. It has been real. Make sure you are subscribed, you guys. I love you all, YouTube, and I will catch you guys on the next one.